everyone. Welcome to the Soft Edit. Today we will be talking about masculinity, and my guest is John Wills Njoroge, who's done quite a bit of work on the subject, and so I'm super excited for him to be here with us today. So please, tell us a little bit about yourself, John.
Thank you. My name is John Wills Njoroge. And what do? I do quite a number of things.
Fair.
Yeah, I hike, I run. But working with young boys, supporting people raising their sons, working with men, and supporting mothers raising sons.
Yeah.
And also creating interventions for institutions where we are bringing a balance when we think about how to accommodate and how people can complement each other.
Yeah.
Over and above that, creating interventions for fathers and sons, and that is father to son. So we have a book on that, and we also have Brave Hearts, which is a mentorship program for boys, and all these rooted and driven by personal experiences. Because
so cool.
I realized when I was in high school, it was quite interesting because when I was in Form 2, we used to get newspapers.
Yeah.
And so this morning, I'm reading this newspaper, and I see 6 faces. And these are young boys that we used to play soccer together back at home. Luckily, I'm the only person who managed to go to a good school.
Yeah.
But these boys were shot dead by the cops because they were involved in crime.
Yeah.
And so my high school principal said, "You will not go home if this is the situation." So I stayed in school for quite some time. When people go home, he used to organize on how I will remain in school. And that was a great experience. So he became a father to me.
Yeah.
And we used to meet every Friday just to discuss and reflect.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so Brave Hearts, that intervention is driven by some of those experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And kind of related to our topic today, which is masculinity. And I felt like it's a difficult conversation to have without having it with a man. Clearly, it's something you've probably experienced firsthand and had to navigate yourself, but it's also something you do a lot of intentional work around. And given even like your experiences that you just shared, I'm curious, like, what does masculinity mean to you?
That's
Easy
a good
question.
Yes. Yeah, for me, masculinity is a male expression of commitment, courage, integrity, and compassion for human dignity.
Yeah.
For me, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that definition.
Thank you.
And it's beautiful. It's expansive because I feel like societally there has been this like commoditization of masculinity. And there's been this like rise of people like Andrew Tate and these other influencers that are showing this very dark, violent version of what being a man is. I'm curious from your perspective, do you think like we are misunderstanding masculinity? And how do we kind of redefine it?
True. I would say that most of the time when we're defining masculinity, it is driven by roles.
Yeah.
And social definition of success.
Yeah.
And at the same time, misconception driven by fear of facing ourselves as a society. And that is where you find where there is no human connection, people get to become violent, lack of empathy, and all those other things. And for the influencers, like now the person you've mentioned, I would say that he came out strongly talking about his upbringing. And you can see his upbringing informs his current perception and the drive.
Yeah.
Because he celebrates how his father was authoritarian. And that means it's an environment that didn't have affection,
Yeah.
affirmation, and acceptance.
Yeah.
So when a child grows in such an environment, later in future, they become aggressive,
Yeah.
not knowing what they are seeking and what they are chasing. And it's simply because as a society, when you meet an adult who didn't receive affection and who has no sense of belonging, because adults will not provide that to the little child in this person. So the person becomes aggressive because you're not providing that. And so what we need to ask ourselves is how do we then parent ourselves so that we get to that place where we accept that as human beings, compassion is key.
Yeah.
Because for such a child, the person lacks understanding,
Yeah.
and that is where anxiety checks in and they become aggressive.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's such a good point that it comes from your upbringing. It comes from how you were raised and what your perception of, I guess, being a man is. And I think this narrow definition of masculinity actually came from probably some sense of evolution, right? And the man kind of playing this role of like being a provider or going out to hunt or whatever it was, although now we know that there are very matriarchal societies as well, so it's not just men that were doing the work back then. But I think that's where the idea and the ethos of this like definition came from. But as a society, we've changed and we've evolved.
Yeah.
And I think that definition is starting to fit us less and less.
True. And we were having that conversation in another group of men, where someone was saying that men used to hunt and that is not there anymore, and that's why men are suffering today. And my question was, were they hunting every day?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
So, because you can't convince me that they used to go hunting every single day.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Yeah.
And that's why I said social definition of success. It's mainly if this person went out hunting and they captured this animal, then we celebrate that as success.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that if we say that men used to go hunting every day, assuming, then does it mean the families never ate anything that is plant-based? Yeah. So we need to go back and question all these things.
Yeah.
And when I went through the rite of passage, some of the things that I was told is that a man should never cook. Yeah, you should not go to the kitchen. You should, quite a number of things. And the moment those guys left, my mom came in and asked me, "Do you have a stomach?"
I like that. Classic mom.
Yeah, so what if you're living alone?
Yeah.
So will you cook?
She's right.
So that was it. But the truth is, men, I believe that men are not, we don't have toxic masculinity. What we have is traumatized men.
Ooh.
And that is why those we consider toxic, they are not able to connect with other human beings.
Yeah.
And these are people where in fatherhood we think that being authoritarian is the answer.
Yeah.
And some of the cases I've dealt with is where you find people training parents. They will come and say, your son or your daughter is behaving this way.
Yeah.
You need to be militant. You need to be authoritarian. That's not it.
Wow.
Because that child needs affection.
Yeah.
That child needs compassion.
Yeah.
And so when we miss the point, then the society is disconnected, and we have depleted human connection. And so how do we then get to a place where we restore a human connection? And I think the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, how do I dignify you?
Yeah.
So as a man, I believe that if there is integrity and commitment
Yeah.
to support growth, then that's it. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm.
But how do you get to that level of integrity, commitment, and vulnerability? Because I think a part of it comes from how you're raised,
Yeah.
right? But the reality of it is, even you in sharing your experiences, a lot of men are not raised like that. It's like a shift that has to happen intentionally. And of course, there's even these cultural differences, right, where it's even more pronounced. But there's this intentional shift I think men have to go through around what being a man actually means and how vulnerability and even like softness plays a role in this fuller definition of what being a man means. So I'm curious from your maybe even from your experience,
Yeah.
like how did it sort of shift for you? What was the big kind of realization point that you are more expansive?
I would say that it took two men who are compassionate
Yeah.
and men who are whole
Yeah.
for them to do that kind of work. And the first thing is accepting that I need to question everything I do and who I am.
Yeah.
So if you can't question who you are and what you're doing,
Yeah.
then you will always justify when you're hurting others.
Yeah.
For these two men, one of them is my former high school principal. And then the other man is, actually they came in major transitions in my life. The other man was a total stranger.
Oh, wow.
So this man finds me somewhere and he tells me, you look stressed. What is it? And I explained to him what I was going through. And he said, I feel strongly in my heart that I should provide fatherhood support to you. And to date, we've worked together for 18 years.
Wow.
So the other thing is that there is no way you could have worked with this man if I was not vulnerable. And vulnerability is what attracts healing.
Yeah.
So we cannot heal if you're not allowing another man to see that which hurts in us. And most of the time when one has grown or one has been raised in an environment that has all sorts of chaos in life, there's fear, there's grief, because there's loss of relationships. And that's why I insist that we need to spend a lot of time with our sons and our daughters. Because the investment that we put in by providing compassion and affection is what helps us as adults overcome grief and fear. And the other thing is anxiety. And still, let me first focus on fear and grief, because the reason why that is, we need to address that. It's because where there is fear and grief, it is an environment that has no joy. So people are not celebrating even little wins. And that means where people can't celebrate, there's no compassion. Because if I don't love you, then there's no way I will see the best in you. And even when things are not going well, there's no way I can step in because we have no connection. So it's something that we need to remind ourselves that we are wired to love, we are wired to provide compassion. But sometimes it's very hard because of our perception about life. And then the other thing is that a child who is raised in a chaotic environment where one is authoritarian, you'll find that that son will have anxiety. And anxiety happens where there is no security. So this child will not feel secure. And it's where our engagement as fathers and sons, as men and women, we don't communicate to create understanding. We communicate to defend what we have and our perception about life. So, and without understanding, without getting to create a room for the other person, what happens is that I will end up manipulating you because there's no understanding between us. So to manage this relationship, I have to take your power of choice.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
this young man feels like they have lost control.
Yeah.
And they're always angry and bitter and aggressive. And that is what people like Andrew Tate, that's what happened to them.
Thriving on,
Yes, because they grew up in an environment where there's no joy, there's no security, and there's no control.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. And it's true. And it's interesting, like, how big of a role your upbringing actually plays in this.
Yeah.
But I love what you said about, like, even people coming into your life later on, having that sense of vulnerability and being open enough to let in that compassion is what sort of shifted things.
Yeah, and for this man that I've worked with for 18 years, I think one of the things that really shocked me was a day he came and told me, there's nothing that you'll ever do in this world that will make me hate you. And I felt, whoa, this is responsibility.
Yeah.
So he gave me a role by providing compassion.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And the piece you're talking about around defensiveness and like actually defending your worldview rather than gaining this level of understanding. I do tend to see that in a lot of men where they struggle to hold space for another version of understanding. And they're just so gung-ho and so like committed to defending what their understanding of the world or anything really is. How, not that you might not have the answer, and that's okay, but how do you break that down? Like, how do you move forward to create something that's a bit healthier? A part of it is going to be, as you mentioned, like relying on male friends or other influences in your life. And I guess vulnerability begets vulnerability. So you being vulnerable does allow them to be vulnerable. But I'm curious, like, is there anything you would advise to, let's say, a man that's really struggling with developing a sense of vulnerability when their definition of masculinity isn't serving them anymore?
One of the things I would say is that stop trying to overcome failure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Stop trying to overcome failure and journey backwards with a lot of compassion and self-kindness.
Yeah.
Because quite a number of men as a result of failure, and I've been there, where you question whether you're worthy, whether you're exceptional, whether you're lovable, whether you're enough.
Oof.
And yet, that's how we are wired. That's how we were created. And that will never change.
Yeah.
But definition of success in our society makes us question whether we are lovable. And sometimes, like I had a training somewhere when I asked this group of men, tell someone you're lovable, and they were like, no. Dude, no.
Oh, no.
So said, okay, then tell someone that you're worthy. Dude, no, that's for my chick.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
Yeah, so, and I asked them, okay, how about exceptional? Yeah, that one we can. And you see, it's where compassion is not normalized. And it can't be normalized where one is traumatized. Because healing trauma cannot happen where there is no compassion. And sometimes we men feel bad that we are feeling bad. We actually feel bad that we are wounded and we can't attain what the society says is a true man. And so we need to stop fighting failure, take a pause, and then start all over again. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, that just goes to everybody. Like, stop fighting. Stop fighting failure. Lead with compassion.
Yeah.
Understanding all of that.
And also for failure, the question is, what meaning do we give failure?
Yeah.
Because you fail when you've tried something.
True.
Yes.
True.
And for you to try out something, it took courage.
Yeah.
So what should you be celebrating?
Yeah.
It is courage that
Yeah.
you tried.
Yeah.
Yes.
The courage that it took.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. I love
And that's why I tell people, even when you have failed, the first thing is not to, what lessons did you learn? No. Celebrate your win because you tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. That's beautiful. Honestly, and that's great life advice just generally. How do women come into this? Like, what role do you think women play in this redefinition, or what role should women play in this redefinition of masculinity?
It is huge. It is huge. One, because if the man is broken, then the woman is hurting.
It's true. Hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you will find that most of the issues that we have in our society for both men and women, they're deeply rooted in dysfunctions of their fathers. For a daughter or a son, everyone desires to be called out.
Yeah.
And if the man is hurting, then there's no way he can call out the children and even affirm them. And also a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
So to overcome all that, I would say that for women who are raising sons, if one has an issue with the father of the child or even brothers, it's good to take a pause and say, wow, okay, I have an issue with this guy.
Yeah.
But taking that bold step where you choose to see this child as an individual and not just a product of someone who maybe failed you and all that, simply separating issues.
Yeah.
And so the invitation I would make is for everyone in our society, both men and women, to journey through this with a lot of kindness.
Yeah.
Because that is the only way that we can heal each other.
Yeah.
And healing cannot happen in isolation. And one of the other things I would say is that when women and men complement each other and not compete, then there is peace in our society. And children get to grow in an environment where they feel accepted.
Yeah.
Lastly, I would say for the fathers who are raising daughters, it is very, very important for them to affirm their daughters. And it is very, very important for them to tell their daughters, I love you.
Yeah.
So that this child gets to know that it is normal to be loved.
Yeah.
So that when this child leaves that door, they will not be told, I love you, and it's a foreign thing. So some of these things, they need to come from the family.
The home, yeah.
Yes. So where do women come in? Complementing and supporting their sons and daughters. Yeah.
I love that. And I think what's interesting is it's so, in the way that women are brought up, not that there isn't a heaviness associated with being a woman, there is. And there's a lot of things I think you have to navigate or grow or unlearn. But there is more, I would say, like forgiveness and softness around developing a sense of like emotional vulnerability. And society kind of praising that to a degree. As a result, women are doing a lot of work, like they're going to therapy, they're like healing from things, whereas men are a bit more stuck and struggling in something that, you know, as we've discussed, like doesn't necessarily serve them, but there's a fear of reaching out, getting help, and working on yourself. And to your point, especially when it's coming from a place of trauma, it's hard to heal and to move on without help. Like you cannot do it yourself. But I think men, exactly. But I think men, because like there is this kind of expectation that you're supposed to do everything yourself. You're supposed to handle things. Like if you can't handle things, then something's wrong with you. to a degree, there's this level of judgment or deference against men generally, that they really struggle to actually reach out and ask for help.
I think it's also how we frame. I'm a psychologist.
Yeah.
And I think it's also how we frame it. Yeah, because number one, we have very few male psychologists.
Wow.
Yes. And then
so hard for people to identify.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that in schools, when a child misbehaves, when they're suspended, before they come back, they're told, you must go and see a counselor. So how we frame it is that if for you have issues,
there's a problem. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's how we are socialized.
Yeah.
The other day we went hiking somewhere, and there's this little boy who asked me, what do you do? And I said, I'm a psychologist. And there's another man voluntarily told this little boy, when you go nuts, that's the guy to go to.
Oh, no.
So this boy will not accept help.
Yeah.
And then there's this time I went somewhere and I asked these guys in the hood, okay, what do you think about psychologists? And one guy said, oh, those guys, they manage gossip.
Oh, wow.
So we need to change that conversation.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we need to ask ourselves, how do we get more men engaged in this? And sharing our experiences is very, very important.
Yeah.
And most of the time we push teamwork. And yet you can be in that team and you're isolated.
Yeah.
You're lonely.
Yeah.
So we need to encourage men to share their experiences and share their stories. Research I did a few years back in one of the juvenile centers, I noticed that 80% of those boys, they didn't know what their fathers do, their father's level of education, and their father's birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. So that tells you there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And because there's that disconnect, then this young boy, when he becomes a man, he can't share his stories. He believes that's how men are supposed to be.
Yeah. Oof. It's a good point.
It's about social learning theory.
Yeah.
You see what he's doing, you do the same.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah, you can't be what you can't see.
Absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah.
And because there's this trapping around, let's say, this like hyper-independent, masculine, narrow perception of what a man is. And even the way that the word masculine is defined, this very narrow definition can serve you in this world where success is defined as something that's like one-dimensional, right? And I'm sure there's people that are going to be like, well, I'm doing great. I have this or I have that or whatever. Even if they're scared of getting to this level of vulnerability, they don't think it's necessary. I've seen men that are like, I don't need that. Like, I'm good. I'm on this path. I'm on this track. I'm on this. And so I'm curious, like, because I have my opinions on this, but I'd love to hear your opinions. What does it rob you of? Like, what does it take away from you in experience and in life if you sort of prescribe to this very one-dimensional version of masculinity?
It takes away your power of choice. Yeah. It takes away your power of choice.
I love that.
Yeah. Because when you go through some of those experiences and when you subscribe to those things, then you can't question what is happening.
Oof.
And for you to belong, that means you have to continue doing that, which means what you're chasing is acceptance and what you're running away from is rejection.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. No, it's so true.
Yeah. If you're chasing something, you're running away from something.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's a very brilliant point.
And that is why we globally we reward abuse. That's why currently we're talking about toxic workplaces.
Yeah.
It didn't just happen overnight. No. we rewarded that, and it can't hold.
Wow.
And the reason why it can't hold is because there's someone in that environment who has questioned what is happening.
Yeah.
And they are pulling away from it.
Yeah.
So the system is not running the way it used to.
Yeah.
And that means the system is not offering what people are chasing or what they're seeking.
Yeah.
And there's an awakening where people get to realize, I've been running away from rejection, and what I need is self-acceptance. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because it's that like very one-dimensional, like shallow definition is robbing you of individuality.
Absolutely.
And like what makes you as a person.
Yeah, and when that happens is for you to remain relevant, then you must continue abusing other people. Because that's your interpretation of power.
Yeah.
Yes, it's power that you're seeking.
Yeah.
And that is why you find definitions of masculinity that are not driven by integrity, compassion, courage, and commitment. They push boys don't cry, don't be emotional in this situation. And what we forget is that life is about our responses.
It is.
And just before we started, I was having a conversation with someone, and this person was telling me how they feel overwhelmed. So I was telling them, the reason why you feel that way, it's because you're courageous enough to validate your emotions. You're not running away from your reality.
Yeah.
And so most of the time, as men, as a result of some of those definitions, we live in the past, we live in the future, we are never present.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah, because it's what we are chasing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't sit in who you are.
No, you
can't
can't.
sit in where you are. You're so external. Wow.
And that's very good what you've said, because then our definition of success is driven by external, not what is happening inside.
Yeah.
So most of the time you find that what motivates us is our social authority. Oh, I admire so-and-so. That guy, he's my mentor, and we've never met the guy. Then we have our experiences that we don't want to journey through.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that our core values, it's just lies that we believe in because we live in the future that we desire and the past that we are running away from. So we are never present.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it literally robs you of your life.
Absolutely. And if you're not present, your power of choice is taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't make any decision.
Yeah. For
you, it's very hard to step on the balcony and examine how people are dancing, simply to ask yourself, am I part of this dance? And what do I need to do? Do I need to join them or introduce something else?
Yeah. Wow. It's so true. And I've met friends and acquaintances and men like in their 30s and 40s that are still really like stuck in that, where they're living in the future and they can't, the lives that they live today are so empty because they don't have or haven't developed the capacity to hold themselves as they are, which is really sad.
It is.
I know they don't, and you know what it is? It's like they don't see it as sad because it's all they know, but you're almost being robbed of the human experience because you never get to feel all the other things. You never get to know yourself, to sit in yourself, to appreciate and admire yourself.
Yes, and most of the time it's because as men we are angry.
Yeah.
But we don't take a pause to view anger as our friend and not something that we should run away from.
Say more about that, anger as your friend.
It's where we accept that this is what is happening in us. Because what is the role of anger? Creating boundaries, telling you that you've been pushed to the edge. I need clarity about life. And anger is actually a moment for you to take a pause.
Oof.
Anger is not your enemy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. So most of the time we are angry, and in a society when you're told that you are angry, simply you're told that this will bring distraction. But distraction is manifestation of anger that has not been accepted as a friend. Yeah. Because without anger, you can't create boundaries in life.
Yeah.
And so you need to be angry enough about dysfunctions in our society, how women and children suffer, how other men are dying by suicide. You need to get angry enough and ask yourself, if this can happen in the lives of these people, then what do I need to do about it? I need to face myself. And so most of the time when you find someone becoming abusive is where they're not able to embrace anger as their friend. And so they get to a place of frustration. And allow me to say this, anger is actually a strength. So when one becomes abusive, it is an overdone strength. Yeah.
I like that. I like that the notion of anger as like a useful thing.
It is.
Rather than a bad thing. Because we do demonize anger.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And even in relationships, like now between men and women, you find as a man, you're angry that this person, let's say your spouse or your girlfriend is behaving in a certain way that you don't like, and you get angry. Instead of looking at it, yes, this person is behaving that way, your anger is an invitation for growth in that relationship.
Yeah.
And the same thing, as a woman, when you find that your man is behaving in a certain way and you're not happy, then your anger is an invitation for growth.
Yeah.
And where growth is not received, where that invitation is not taken, then that means you need to define and create understanding. Yes.
Yeah. But when you don't, to your point, when you don't actually act on that growth, or you don't use the anger in a constructive manner, it becomes destructive.
Absolutely.
And it becomes destructive to you, but it can also become destructive to other people. And it can be an expression of even violence, because we've seen like violence start to rise against women. And so figuring out how to handle the anger and how to develop, I guess, a relationship with your anger seems to be the crucial thing.
It is. And violence against women takes us back to where we started. Because when you have an authoritarian parent, is a parent who is angry, but they're not able to see it as an invitation for growth. And they have not created room to grow in that area.
Yeah.
So this son grows up aggressive, objectifying, if there is anything like that, objectifying women.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that violence against women is where there's no knowledge and wisdom on how to relate. Because someone who is traumatized, it's very hard for them to connect with another human being.
Yeah.
And it becomes very hard for that relationship to nurture healing. Because most of the time, even in relationships, and the reason why you find people remaining in abusive relationships, it's because sometimes they've come from families that are abusive, and they decided to hang out with this person who is abusive, or rather they discovered that this person is abusive, but they are hoping that the parent who abused them will change through this person.
Yeah, you're like replaying your wound.
Absolutely. Yeah. So remaining there, it is an element of hope that this person can love me. Yeah.
Oof. And to that degree, because I think this is also something that a lot of women struggle with in relationships with men, it's this idea and notion when a man hasn't done their own work on themselves, they haven't really come to terms with who they are, and they're not really at peace with who they are. They're still living in this very external world. As women, to a degree, we are conditioned from an early age to be caretakers and to be like, ready to give up, sacrifice, make an effort for a man, for a partner. But if a man hasn't really come to terms with who he is he really ready to be a partner?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And allow me to
agree.
start with
But I want to hear your perspective.
Yes, allow me to start with the ladies.
Yeah.
I don't think there is anything bad on how women are nurtured and trained. I don't think there is anything bad. And you assume
Good point.
And you assume that role where you're a provider who is in charge of someone else's behavior, how they think, and how they feel. And my invitation is for us to understand that you're not in control of how someone else behaves, how they feel, and what they're thinking. That's out of your control. And for us as men, the other thing is that when a woman is nurtured that way, where they're made to believe that they're in charge and they're responsible of how their spouse behaves, how they feel, and how they think. What happens is that when a man shows up when he is whole, then this lady is confused. Because no, I'm supposed to take care of how you feel, how you think, and how you behave. And when a man shows up and he's broken, then this lady becomes a nurse. A caregiver in that relationship. So what we need to ask ourselves is how do we get men to that place of wholeness? Because even this lady who has been nurtured that way, that lady is not whole.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. No, it's a very, very good point. And how do we get men to a place of wholeness, and what role can, I guess, women play in that as well? Because I think there's also this notion to a degree that we do uphold some of these expectations of what masculinity is. Women do kind of uphold it, right? Because to a lesser degree, but we're also kind of educated and systematized to think of masculinity in a certain way. And because we don't have firsthand experience on what it is, we kind of see what other people, what like the media and everyone portrays as like what a masculine man is supposed to be like. And we're ingesting some of that too. So I guess I'm curious, like, what role do women play in that conversation? And when do, as women, because it's something I think and talk a lot about, it's like, how do you show up for men, but also when do you walk away from them?
Let's
Fun
start
questions.
With, those are two questions. How do we get men whole? I think we need to encourage men to leave that stage. Life is not a performance, and you don't have to prove a point. Simply because the definition of masculinity that I had in the past, it was more about responsibilities and roles. And it was more of a performance. What will other people think about you? How will society perceive you? How will people rate you in our society? So it's a performance. So we need to leave the stage. And I heard that I had one of your producers say that they have prepared a script. So we need to go back to that script about life, and just ask ourselves, how are we performing? Okay, and why are we performing in the first place? And who do we want to impress? So when we question all these things, then it becomes easy for us to have that conversation. So getting men whole is simply redefining masculinity, and it's answering the question, who am I? and simply, while answering that question, asking ourselves, I've been labeled this way, but who am I? This is what they say about me, but who am I? If we can entertain that conversation, then it becomes easy. And the other thing is that for women, I would say women should continue pursuing that healing. They should continue pursuing that healing. And the example I have is one time I was supporting a medical facility, and I noticed that the number of women who were getting discharged, they were more than men.
Wow.
And men were taking longer in these hospitals. So I decided to check
Why
what is it that women are doing differently. So spending some time in the wards and observing, I realized that when women were visited by their relatives, they were encouraged. You will get out of this place. It will be well. We are here for you. We will be here tomorrow. For the men's ward, it was different. So guys come visiting ours and they're like, what were you thinking for you to end up here? Do you know you have not even paid rent? Hi. Then we go back to the women's ward. Everything they received, they placed that on a table. And those who didn't get visitors, they shared.
Wow.
For the men, it was different. Whatever they received, you put it. Yeah.
It's mine.
It's mine, yeah. And that's very important because the other day, I sent my sister a clip of my son where he was chewing this bone. And I asked him, give me that bone. And he said, no, it's mine. And you see, it's because there are quite a number of adults today who are stuck in their childhood. And they've not grown out of that space. So there's a lot that we can learn from women. So what happened, I introduced that in the male ward. So people share their stories, people share what they have. And then for the visitors, I had a meeting with them one of the days, and I told them, if you're coming here to make noise, to complain about your patient, please don't come. Leave them. When they come home, you will attend to these guys. And in 2 weeks, they were all discharged.
Wow. I love that. That's beautiful.
Yes. And then I've also seen women in some of our estates where as a result of postpartum depression. So this lady disappears and leaves a baby who is like 2 months old.
Oh, no.
And then there's another woman who has given birth to twins.
Wow. And
she says, can I go be tested whether I have any form of disease? Because I can breastfeed this child. So she was breastfeeding 3 children.
Wow.
What do we learn from that? Is that as men, we can share. As men, we can create communities. And as men, we can heal together. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, so that our sense of affirmation is not what you have in your pocket. It plays a big part, but your sense of affirmation is that you know who you are. And
it comes from you.
Yes, absolutely. And the place of acceptance, first is where you accept yourself as a man. And you're vulnerable enough to allow, to tolerate your emotional being. And making sure that you create hope and you dignify society. That can only happen if there is courage, if there is commitment, if there is integrity, if there is character driven by a desire to see human dignity.
Oof. I love that so much. And it's a perfect way to wrap. Thank you so much for this conversation, John.
Thank you.
It's so meaningful, so impactful to have these conversations. And I think the work that you do is so intentional.
Thank you.
And I love this notion of what we need to grow into and what we need to break out of for men, but also for women supporting men. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us at the Soft Edit.
Thank you for this conversation.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you guys for joining us at the Soft Edit. As a reminder, you are the author and editor of your life, so make it work for you. Thank you so much. Got it? Okay.